Hi guys, welcome to Footy Channel Groundhop. I don't know what's gone wrong here today. For some reason, it's all gone a bit haywire. But I'm here now, just waiting for the other two guys to arrive. They should be here very, very soon. Before we get into the show, if you do enjoy today's show, then please do smash the thumbs up. It does help the channel. So please do smash those thumbs up. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, come and hit that subscribe. Come be part of this great community. Also, hit the bell notification. That'll tell you when I'm live, have a pre-record, or any upcoming shows as well. Yeah, it's a while since I've done a live, so trying to get used to stuff again. And yeah, right. Let's get into the comments here. Mason, afternoon to you. Hope you're well. He says, do hit the like for Tony and his guest, please. Yeah, thank you very much. Jevo, hi mate, hope you're well. He says, Chester versus Morecambe, that's a tasty replay. Yes, it is, absolutely. And I think also Hartlepool versus Gainsborough Trinity could be tasty as well, now that Hartlepool have sacked their manager, Simon Grayson, today, which is a strange one, so we'll see what happens there. Also, it's 4 p.m, yeah. We all knew John would be running late. Yes, he is at the moment. And Julie says, good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to you as well, Julie. Oh, and Joe Robinson's popped up there. Afternoon as well. Good afternoon to you as well, Joe. I mean, yes, there's been some great results in the FA Cup this weekend. There's been some shocks. And, you know, the draws tomorrow night for the first round proper. And the lowest ranked team in the competition is Malden and Tiptree. And look, I've been to their club. They're a pretty decent club and a club that's on the up. And as I say, with Malden and Tiptree being in that draw, it's absolutely fantastic for them tomorrow evening. And I hope they get a decent draw. I hope they get a home draw. It would be nice if they got a couple of easiest draws, if you know what I mean, and then from there maybe get a Premier League team if they can get to round 3, you know, and that would be an absolute dream for the Monday to get a Premier League team as well. Thought John was in Dundee. Grayson hasn't been there long, so it's surprising. Yeah, it is surprising, Julie. I mean, yeah, he hasn't been there that long, but maybe just results just haven't been what the owners were expecting. And maybe it's time that there was a change as well. So maybe that's what they've thought after yesterday's result. Once James comes into the chat, into the stream, we'll talk to him because he was at the game yesterday. But apparently, with what James was saying, is apparently put out a team that would have that should have won that game yesterday quite comfortably. So we'll see. But apparently Gainsborough Trinity could have easily been 4-0 up over Hartlepool. How are the Mags? That's Jay's channel. He says all afternoon to you, Jay. Hope you're very well indeed. And people chatting with each other. Mason says it's 1 win in 11 for Hartlepool. That's why he's got the sack. Well, that's not great, is it? I mean, 1 win in 11, it's a poor return, isn't it? An absolute poor return. And thoroughly deserves the sack for that. I mean, look, there's a lot going on in the managerial merry-go-round at the moment. And look, they'll be continuing to happen where managers are leaving clubs as well. Another manager has left his club this afternoon, and that's come from Heybridge Swifts, who are in the Isthmian League Division 1 North. And Julian Dix has resigned from his position as first-team manager. They'd like to thank him for his time and effort and commitment, and Adrian Whitbread will step in while they look for a successor. So, yeah, so quite a shock there that Julian Dix has actually left Heybridge Swifts. You know, he'd done an okay job there for what he had. You know, I met the guy once when he was at Milton Old Town. He's such a lovely guy, Julian Dix. Great defender in his day, by the way, especially at West Ham. So, yeah, that's Julian Dix has gone now. Jebo says the sacking is a bit harsh run of games they've had. Yeah, maybe it is. But obviously the owners must have somebody in mind who they think can come in and do the job and lift them out the mire. But Tuesday, I think against Gainsborough Trinity at Victoria Park is going to be a real struggle for them. It'll either go one or two ways. They'll either up that game because they've got a caretaker manager in charge, or they'll just down tools. Or the fact that Gainsborough Trinity might go there and think, do you know what? Let's go and upset the apple cart and let's go and beat them. So, yeah, it's going to be an interesting one to watch on Tuesday, that one. That win for Gateshead was typical. Yeah, Gateshead's had an up and down start, haven't they? They won yesterday away to Avery, so they're in the next round of the FA Cup. West Ham probably need him. Still does, yeah. Well, he could do, yeah, absolutely. West Ham could need him. But as I say, there is managers coming and going a lot now, so we're going to see probably quite a bit of this in non-league now, where managers will just be resigning from their post or being sacked and moved on. But I mean, what I want to talk about though is Maldon and Tiptree. Now, they have very good ownership there. They are a very well-run club. I had the pleasure of being down there last month, invited down by Barry Hughes, the owner. And the amount of improvements they've done to that club in the summer is absolutely tremendous. For a non-league team, you go into the home dressing room and they've got a separate physio room and everything. It's absolutely fantastic, the facilities they've got down there, the money they've put into it, even the plans that he wants to do with the stadium. The opposite side to where the dugouts are, it's a small stand, but he wants to stretch that stand out and have it right along the whole of the ground with seating in. You know, he's obviously doing a lot for that club. The fans absolutely, I think, adore the owners of that club. The fans weren't, they were up talking to him, and he walks around, he mixes with the fans, which is fantastic. He gets and goes into the stand with them as well. Lots of good things happening there at Maldon. Obviously, they've got the money, so they're signing the big players. The likes of Freddie Sears, who's hit the ground running this season for them and won them the game yesterday to get them through the first round proper over Flackwell Heath. So Maldon and Tiptree are probably going to win the Isthmian League Division 1 North, although Felixstowe and Morton are up there with them. But Maldon do have a couple of games in hand. So if they win those couple of games in hand, then obviously they go clearer in that league, and they should definitely go on and win that league at a canter, really, more than anything. I will put up the draw numbers in a moment, like if who's got who to, what balls are who tomorrow for the FA Cup. Pete's in the chat. All afternoon to you, Pete. Hope you're well, mate. And everybody's saying hi to Pete there. But yeah, I mean, I saw that goal yesterday from South Shields. That was a bit of a bizarre goal, wasn't it? But it doesn't matter how they're going, as long as they go in the back of the net. And yeah, that was absolutely brilliant from South Shields to get through as well. So I'm just going to bring up the list for there we go. There's the list there, and that's got all the numbers on of who's what number ball. 64 will be the ball to look out for. That is Maldon and Tiptree. As I say, it'd be nice if they got a home tie. Be nice if they got a couple of decent little ties where they could get through to the third round, because it would be a fairy tale for them to draw, say, a Premier League team, like an Arsenal or a Tottenham or a Liverpool or a Newcastle, or anybody back at Maldon would be brilliant for them, and it would bring the money in, or an away tie to somewhere like St James's Park where we could pack it out and and it'd be a great day for them. Some interesting teams in there. Farnham Town or Sutton United. That was a cracking game yesterday. Should Farnham have hung on and won it? Maybe. But you look at the teams in there. Obviously, Mason will be looking at number 13, Cardiff City, with interest. 51 is Gainsborough, Trinity or Hartlepool. So whoever wins that tie. The draws tomorrow night on TNT Sports. I believe at 6:30 p.m. So that'll be interesting to see who gets who. You got AFC Tottenham, Truro City to play each other in a replay as well. Whoever gets them would probably be hoping that AFC Tottenham get through. Probably don't want a trip all the way down to the other end of Cornwall to go and face Truro. Gateshead's there, number 59, Spennymoor Town, FA Trophy finalist last season, number 60. So they're going to be up there as well. It's going to be interesting to see who they get. And obviously South Shields are in there as well. So be interesting to see who South Shields get their ball, number 56 on that list as well. So yeah, some big sides in there now. When you think there's quite a few former Premier League teams in that hat as well for that first round. Blackpool, Bolton, Bradford, to name but a few who have been in the Premier League. So it's going to be, it's going to be a great draw tomorrow night, and I'm sure a lot of people will be watching that draw with interest and seeing who gets who. I know Mason goes to watch a lot of South Shields games. Who would you want out of that, Mason? Who is it a home tie you want for South Shields? And lots there. There could be even a local derby there. Who knows? Easily get the 69. Yep, somebody's got to get it. Unfortunately, I was there at the Shields game yesterday. It was only one way yesterday. Yeah, nice. Closest to me out of that lot would be Hemel Hempstead, I think, and Leyton Orient as well. So yeah, there's going to be some cracking ties there tomorrow. That's going to be pulled out the hat. I do know Barry was the owner of Malden was asked by TNT to go to Worthing for the draw, but he didn't want to. He wanted to stay back at Malden with the fans. They're opening the clubhouse up. They're going to have the fans down. They're going to have some players there, so they can, all watch the draw together, and that's great. That's a great little community spirit there. I want Shields to play anyone bar Gateshead. Yeah, absolutely, Mason. You just never know who you're going to get. Spennymoor Town had a hard 1-0, hard fought 1-0 win over Billericay Town yesterday. So yeah, it's going to be a good one, and I'm sure people are going to be looking forward to that draw tomorrow. Yesterday I was meant to be at the game. Obviously I didn't make it there. I think I just hit the M11 at the wrong time when an accident had maybe just happened, because apparently it was reported just before 1 p.m. and I got on the M11 at about 1:45. I was stuck in the traffic for 2 hours before I moved, and it was horrendous. Couldn't get to Brentwood Town where I was supposed to be. So I was a bit annoyed at that. Obviously, I've always got to say thoughts have got to be with people who are involved in the crash. Doesn't sound like anybody was fatally injured, but I'm not sure what the injuries were, because nothing's been reported on their injuries, but I think everybody was fine. And that's the main thing, but yeah, it was an absolute nightmare yesterday. And then I said I'll go to Bishop Stortford, because I'd wrote all my pre-match notes up on my notepad. So as I was sitting in the car, got on the Footballogy app, and I saw Bishop Stortford were playing Redditch, and I thought, well, that's not far, that's just down the road once I get moving. So I sat in the car in the traffic, got my phone out, started writing me notes up for doing a pre-match when I got down there. When the traffic did move at about 10 to 3, I got down there just after 3:05 and got to the car park, and it was rammed. Couldn't find a space anywhere. There was one space, but because the guy was awkwardly parked, there's no way I could get in there. And that was it. So I just said, right, okay. Obviously, they're against me today. I'm not getting to a game today. So I just went back to the services. Went back to the services, went to the toilet, and then obviously had a cuppa in Starbucks, and then just headed back home. But and I was home by 5:15. So yeah, so that was an eventful day, and I didn't manage to get any match vlog yesterday. So it is what it is. It's one of those things, and just have to suck that one up. But as I say, at the end of the day, it's making sure that people who are involved in that crash are okay. Julie says M11 is always a nightmare. It was down at Stansted, where it always happens to be pretty bad down there, doesn't it? And it was awful yesterday down there, and I've got to travel down there back on Friday as well, down to Stansted. Should have parked on the pitch. Well, yeah, I don't think they would have appreciated me parking on the pitch. Although, again, it would have been a great game if I'd have got in there, because Redditch lost 3-2 to Bishop Stortford, so it would have been a cracking game to have watched. But, I would have missed the first goal because Redditch went ahead after 7 minutes, so by the time I would have got in, it would have been... But then I would have seen the other 3 goals, because I think they were all after half-time. Hi, Tony and all. Hi to you, Coffee. Hope you're well, my friend. And, hope you're doing well on this Sunday afternoon. So if you've got any suggestions of what, as I say, I know Mason watches a bit of South Shields and that. I mean, Mason, who do you want in the next round of the FA Cup for Shields? Who does Gateshead want in the next round? That's the thing. You want obviously a home tie, but you can't say they're easy ties in the FA Cup, because they're not easy. They're far from easy. So so they're not easy. They're not easy ties, but there's some great games set up out there, and I want Gateshead or Shields to play Cardiff at home. That would be an interesting one, wouldn't it? Can you imagine Cardiff going to Shields or going to Gateshead? Yeah, that'd be interesting. That. What if a certain person's sponsored team gets Gateshead up here? They're not in the FA Cup, so yeah, they're not in the FA Cup, Joe. So I don't think they would be up there at all. But as I said yesterday, this is what Malden and Tiptree put out last night after their heroics yesterday in the Cup. I'm not sure what to say. Since the takeover, this football club has become a special place. The togetherness across the club, the fans, the players, the team behind the scenes. They are ball number 64 on Monday, the lowest ranked team left in the Emirates FA Cup. So, absolutely fantastic. For Malden and Tiptree. Other clubs that are close to me where I live, I've obviously got Milton Old Town, which is literally 10 minutes drive from me, and I play walking football for them. They lost last Tuesday to Malden Tiptree, and look, they played really well, Milton Old. They, it took a penalty from Malden to score and win the game. But it could have all been different if Mildenhall scored their penalty, because they had a penalty just before half time and should have scored, and it was a pretty poor penalty. And then obviously Freddie Sears is stepping up at the spot for them, and he ain't going to miss. He ain't going to miss. And you knew that was going in the back of the net. As for, so Malden took the points there, and they remain top of that league. And I'll put that league table up here in a moment, and it'll also show you where Heybridge Swifts are as well, where Julian Dix has resigned from this afternoon. So just bear with me, and I'll pop that on screen now. There we go. So you can see Malden are top by 2 points, but they have got games in hand. Another team close to me, Newmarket Town. They're 7th at the moment. They were in the playoff places, but they've dropped down a little bit. They got beat yesterday. And then you've got Mildenhall, who are 10th. And you got Heybridge Swifts there, who are 16th. So obviously he's left today, Julian Dix. Cambridge City are struggling. They're in the bottom 4. Their manager went a few weeks ago. Jamie Curtin was shown the door. I think they've still only got a temporary manager there at the moment. So he needs to start getting Cambridge up that table. The ground they've got at Cambridge, they shouldn't be where they are on the table, but they are. Table doesn't lie. And a team who I look at quite closely, who I get on well with their manager, Brighton Sea Regent. They got a vital win yesterday, so they're starting to slowly but surely drag themselves up the table. And the team that's holding up the table at the bottom, Brantham Athletic, 2 points. They're in a bit of disarray at this moment in time. So they're in a bit of disarray at this moment in time, Brantham, and I'll tell you why they're in a bit of disarray. Because they share their ground with a leisure centre, and there was a letter sent out, a statement came out from them, from the leisure centre at Brantham, to say that any weekday games, they are not allowed to play their drum no more, because the neighbours are complaining about the noise. And they've got to be careful with that chance, because some of the language isn't very good and the neighbours aren't happy with that. Also, on a Saturday, when there is a game, they can bang the drum, but they can't bang the drum until 3:15 in the afternoon. And again, they've got to be careful with the chanting. If that drum is banged before 3:15, they will ban the drum altogether. Now, to me, that is absolutely ridiculous. And yesterday, Brantham had 86 fans there. Stuff like that is what kills football clubs. And if the neighbours are complaining about the noise, unfortunately, if you live near a football ground, you get noise. You're going to have the noise. You're going to have fans coming out. What you're supposed to do, tell them they've got to creep around like mice. You can't. So, to me, that is a ridiculous statement. Fans are up in arms over it. But you can see eventually, if it continues that way, and say the fans keep dropping, if they end up having no fans, the club's going to fold. They got promoted last season, Brantham, into this division. They're struggling at the bottom because they lost all their players and obviously had to start again. And now they've got to put up with this. I understand at times, okay, people might not like the choice of language that comes out of football grounds, but unfortunately, it's part and parcel of football. It's passion. And it happens. It does happen. But if you're going to put rules like that in, you're just going to end up having fans walking away, and they'll just go elsewhere to watch non-league because they'll say, well, I'm not putting up with this. Now, I've got to Berry Town, I've gone to Needham Market, and, fans there have the drum. There's no problems there whatsoever. And I've been to many ground where they're banging the drum, and I've never seen any problems. So I think maybe just where they are, I don't know the area very well. It's 10 miles outside of Ipswich. Maybe it's a little bit upmarket, the area, and maybe the people don't like what's going on there, which is a shame. But hopefully things turn around there, but it doesn't look like it's going to get any better. What are your top 5 non-league crest designs? Well, now you're asking, Coffee. Do you know what? That's a really good one to have for a future show, because there are some nice badges out there. I mean, look, there's lots and lots out there. There's some great ones out there. And yes, maybe that one will have to be one that I'll come back with in another show I'm going to do as well, because as I go to grounds and I have stuff to eat there, I take photographs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rate the food that I've had at different stadiums. And that will be a show that I'll be putting out at some point in the next month or so. So keep an eye out for that one coming out. Drums Lives Matters, justice for drums, says Jay. Yeah, absolutely. Replace the drums of Vuvuzelas. Oh gosh, yeah. Oh, they were annoying. They were awful. Coffee, complain about the noise when you're living near a football ground. What if you're living near the airport? Tell the plane switch their engines off. Well, I live between 2 air bases, and the thing is, how can I couldn't just go over there and say, sorry, you'll have to stop them planes at 11 o'clock at night. I'm trying to sleep. I've got work in the morning. It just doesn't happen. Doesn't work like that, does it? So, you learn to live with it. I mean, Cambridge United, their ground's right near houses. I've never once heard a complaint come from Cambridge, and that's a pretty posh city. Oh, well, by the way, you have to keep the noise down. I've never heard anything like that. So I really don't get why they're being like that the way they are. Engines have to be on mute when taken off. Lee, Football League Adventures, how are you doing? Yeah, absolutely great, mate. I hope you're well too. Check out Lee's channel. It's a very good channel indeed. What are your top 5 worst crest designs? And you can't say something for all 5. Well, I'd love to, but yeah. I don't know, to be honest with you, what could be worse. I mean, again, that's another one for a show where you do the best and the worst of them. So, yeah. When I live next to me after I've had oh God, Joe, Jesus. But as I say, the Isthmian League North Division, it is a very tough division. That it really is. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting battle. But again, as I say, I always think wait till November, and then you'll see when the league table starts to take shape. Because normally with the league table, like last season, Basildon United were top of that league in November. They ended up getting relegated, and Brentwood at the time were 12th, and they got promoted. So it just shows you it can change, very much so in a short space of time. So I always say, wait another month or so and then start looking at the league table, and then you can say, well, it's actually starting to shape up now. But again, as I say, it is a very tough league indeed, and it certainly is one to watch out for. So we'll look at the next. So I'm going to bring up the next league, which is the Isthmian Premier League. Now, this is the one above, and this is This is what you call your step 3 of non-league. So we'll bring this table up now for you. There we go. So yes, so Brentwood Town are top of that league. They're doing very, very well this season. They were favourites to actually be relegated this season. And they're top. They got a draw yesterday at home to Dartford. That was the game I was supposed to have been at yesterday. But as I say, they got a draw there. Folkestone are second, 6 points behind. Then you've got Cray Wanderers, Chatham Town, and Dulwich Hamlet. Dulwich Hamlet is a lovely ground. If you want to if you ever go down to a match in London and it's a Sunday game, and Dulwich Hamlet are playing at home on the Saturday, go and watch them. It's a lovely ground. It really is. They've got some great facilities down there and really good. And Billericay, who were in the playoffs last season and probably could have got automatic promotion, but just failed because of goal difference, are fourth bottom. So that's how much they've fallen. Dartford, they're 13th. Their problem is they've only lost 2 games, but the problem for Dartford is it's the draws. If those draws had been turned into wins, they'd be higher up the table. And they lost in the playoff final to Dover Athletic last season. In the bottom 4, you've got Potters Bar Town, Welling United, Wingate and Finchley, and Canvey Island. Canvey Island, who are bottom of the league and are managed by the ex-England under-21 manager Peter Taylor. So maybe a lot of people remember who Peter Taylor was. They are not really doing that well at all. And I know when I went to Malden and Tiptree, when they played Canvey Island, I was speaking to some of the Canvey fans, and they wanted him out then. So, yeah. So they're not doing very well at all. Hashtag United are currently 15th. And Aveley, who came down from National League South last season, they're currently 17th. 2 points above the drop zone as well. So, you know, it's not going great for some of these teams in that league. But Brentwood are just making it look easy. And they've been absolutely terrific. And obviously, if we look at the goal scorers in that league as well, Ramsgate, South East Paxman's top of their charts with 8 goals. Daniel Ogginley for Brentwood Town is on 5. I mean, you know, Brentwood thought he was going to go in the summer. Pro clubs were looking at him as well, but he signed on and stayed, and that was a great thing for Brentwood Town. So if we go into the Southern League Premier Central, this is where Bury Town are, another team that's local to me. They got a 2-2 draw away at Sporting, Bromsgrove Sporting yesterday. And this is a very tough league, by the way, the Southern League Premier Central. Harbour Town are top that league. They're doing really well. Alvechurch are up there as well. Alvechurch are managed by a former Premier League winner, and that is Tim Flowers. Now, some people may remember Tim Flowers when he was at Blackburn Rovers. Obviously played in that team alongside Bashira, Chris Sutton, when they won the league. Bishop Stortford are third. That's the game I was going to go and watch yesterday as the alternative, but I couldn't get parked. I've been to Quorn. That's a cracking club. They're 6th at the moment. And down towards the bottom, you got Bury Town there. They're 15th at the moment. I mean, look, a lot of people said they'd probably go straight back down. Bury's a good little club, but I just think with the players they've got, they maybe just lack 1 or 2 who have that physique. You know, they need a couple of players with a bit more build on them, and they'll probably be like in the midfield, and they'll probably be fine. But I think Bury will be okay this season. And then in the bottom 4 relegation places, you have Stamford bottom, AFC, Sudbury, Royston Town, Worcester City. Needham Market are 13th. They're just 2 places ahead of Bury. Again, Needham Market, I would have thought would have been doing a lot better this season, in all honesty, after coming down from National League North. But again, as I said, this league is very, very tough. There are some bloody good teams in this league. Kettering Town are up there as well. Former Newcastle United striker in that team as well, Niall Ranger. But yeah, so they're up there. And top goal scorer in there is Spalding United's Bart Cebulski. He's about 6'4" because he scored against Bury Town. Yeah, so he's up there on 6 goals. Niall Rangers up there on 6 goals as well. Jack Roberts and Rhys Staish, sorry. But yeah, look, it's, as I say, that is a really, really tough league. But it's a great league. It's a great league. So we'll take that off now. There we go. Right, okay. So I have got one of the guests in now. So here he is. I've got Jon Gaming Blomp. So here he comes. Hi, Jon. How are you?
Hi, Tony. Sorry, I'm so late to your stream. This editing took me way, way longer than planned. But how you doing? You all right?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. So obviously a lot of people in this chat might not know what you do. So I'm going to let you explain to them. One, obviously you follow Hereford United, we know that. But if you let them know a little bit about your channel, and because last year you done the FA Cup from the first preliminary round all the way to the final. And this season you're obviously covering the Southern League Premier Central. So I'll let you explain to the viewers what you do and where they can find you.
So my channel name's on screen. It's Gaming Blomp, and it's very similar to your channel, actually, Tony. I go around the grounds and vlog the games. I like to set myself challenges every season as well. So last year, I mean, this is where it all started, was the FA Cup. I've always wanted to do the FA Cup from start to finish, and I thought, why not put it on YouTube? People might be interested. And from there, because I'm fairly new to ground topping myself. I used to follow Hereford United and now Hereford FC around. But the FA Cup kind of made me realise, you know what? I love going to these non-league clubs. I need to visit some more of them. So last year I did that. This season I'm visiting all 22 Southern League Premier Central grounds. I briefly heard you talking about that league and what a great league it's going to be. And it has been fantastic. So far I've been to 7 of them. 15 to go. I think hopefully I'll finish it by February at this rate, and then I'm going to do the FA Vars next season. So I always like to have a challenge ongoing. I mean, the Southern League Central, going to every ground isn't that much of a challenge, but trying to get every single manager involved is a challenge. So that's what I'm trying to do, trying to get all the managers involved as well.
Yes, it can be hard at times. I mean, if there's a manager you want to speak to, and if they've lost the game or something, they might not want to talk, and it can be difficult. Yesterday, you were lucky enough to get an interview with Tim Flowers as well, weren't you?
I was. My vlog will be going out at 5 p.m. And yeah, Tim Flowers was kind enough to give me an interview. And the significance of that is I grew up in the era when he was in his prime. So he was obviously one of my childhood idols. And I'm surprised I managed to get my words out because I was a little bit flustered, like being face to face with him. But he is the nicest guy, the current Alvechurch manager. Got time for everyone. So yeah, if there's any ground hoppers watching, then definitely give Alvechurch a go. The stadium itself gets a bad reputation because it needs a lot of work doing. But I really like Alvechurch, and I really like Lye Meadow as well. And I think it's for what it kind of lacks in its facilities, it kind of makes up with the supporters and the way that the club treat you when you're there. It's a brilliant club.
Yeah. Jay from Howie and Mags is saying Flowers, wasn't he, at Solihull Moors too?
I think he was, yeah. I think he was. I know he was definitely at Redditch, but he might well have started his managerial career or assistant manager career there. I know recently it was Redditch United, and he was a very popular guy there. I've had a few people comment on my Redditch United video saying, because I obviously mentioned that I was going to Alf Church next, and they all, even though Redditch and Alf Church are like very, very local rivals, I don't know if you know how close together those two towns are. Alf Church is a village, but I think they're just a couple of miles apart. And yeah, the Redditch fans are still very, very fond of Tim Flowers, even though he's managing their rivals now. So I think it says it all about the man.
Yeah, absolutely. And Alva Church are going well at the minute, second in the table. Coffee, Howie and Mags, Julie and Mason all saying hello to you, John.
Hi guys, how you doing?
And Pete as well.
Yeah, nice to be here.
So what's your next match in the Southern League Premier Central in the next ground you're going to?
Well, up until this morning, I thought I was going to Barwell tomorrow night, but Barwell were meant to play Banbury, weren't they? Who, of course, drew at the weekend. So Banbury's fixture's now been rearranged. They're going to St Albans on Tuesday instead. So that up until this morning, I thought I was headed there. I'm undecided. My next game will be either Carlton Town on Tuesday or Baseford United on Tuesday. My next Southern League game in the series it'll be Barwell again, but it'll be their away game at Stamford on next Tuesday night. That's the next one in the series. I was going to go to Worcester City next Saturday. I can't wait to go to Six Ways because it's pretty special, so I hear. But I've also heard that Harbour Town have got their Spanish following coming over next Saturday. And I've been told by a few people it's one that I shouldn't miss. And Harbour Town are another club that have treated me so well when I went there that it'd be nice to go and catch up with them again. And of course, they're playing Bromsgrove Sporting, who are a club that I know really well. So I'll be doing that one. I've already rated Harbour's ground, so I won't need to give them another ranking, but it'll just be like a standard match day vlog. And it'll be good to catch up with Scott Adey Linford at Bromsgrove as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, I mean, I've seen pictures of that Worcester Stadium, and it does look stunning, by the way, doesn't it? I think they share it with the rugby team as well, don't they?
Yeah, I think they do. Yeah, I think they do. The rugby team do still play there, but I think Worcester Raiders were using it up until recently, and I'm not sure if they struggled to afford the rent or Worcester City just came in for it. But yeah, City are back there now, and it's easily the biggest ground in that league, and I think it's bigger than the majority of the grounds 2 leagues higher than it as well.
Yeah. Jay says, Flowers was at Solihull as manager in 2018 to 20. Then he went to Macclesfield Town.
Yeah, that's. I didn't realise until the other day, like how long ago he retired. Like, it doesn't seem like very long ago. Obviously, I grew up watching football in the 90s, but that makes me ancient now. It's years ago, isn't it?
Yeah. And Mason's got a question for you. He says, how have Hereford been this season as they're at South Shields and he'll be at that game?
Oh, God. That could be 4 or 5, Mason, to be honest. No, we were dreadful at the start of the season. Absolutely dreadful. We picked up at Buxton and got a win. I was at that one, and it was what I thought was going to be an extremely unlikely win, but we pulled it off. And I thought, here we go, that's the start of our turnaround. I then went to the home game against Chorley it was bank holiday weekend, so they had like a couple of games, and we got absolutely hammered, 3-0 down after 20 minutes. That Chorley had a goal disallowed. It should have been 4. There was nothing wrong with the goal they disallowed. We ended up losing 4-1, which I take on that performance. And we're just inconsistent. We seem to struggle. If South Shields play a physical game, we'll struggle. And I don't think we also struggled. I mean, we're a bit better at it now, but we're struggling to find the net at the start of the season, particularly. Montel Gibson has just left as well. He's joined Hensford Town. So it'll be interesting to see. But given where South Shields are in the league, I'm not going into that one very confident.
Yeah, so it's going to be so you think maybe it's going to be a South Shields win for that one?
I would say so, but then I've been watching Hereford for a very long time, so we could easily go there and win 3-0, and then get beaten by one of the teams in the relegation zone. A few years ago, we went to York City. We hadn't won for 2 months, and York were unbeaten at home, and we won 4-1 there. So it's like, it's just typical. It would be typical Hereford to go there and win.
Yeah. Yeah, it's normally the case, though, isn't it? At times when teams aren't doing very well, and then all of a sudden they go to a team that's top of the table and they put on a performance, and you think, where's that come from?
Yeah, and I mean, a lot of the Hereford fans are getting frustrated with our manager Paul Caddis, and I mean, you got to give the guy time. This is his second season. I'm still very much Caddis in. I do believe he'll turn things around. I just don't think our supporter base sometimes understand how low our budget is compared to even the likes of Macclesfield and Buxton in this league. So we're not as big a team as I think our fan base think we are anymore. We're not Hereford United anymore. We're not the team that's played in the Football League. We've gone bankrupt and reformed. So we're just a small club in Herefordshire now. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah, Jebo, Gaming Blomp, ole, ole, ole.
Hey, Jebo, you okay?
Because he said he knew you'd be late coming on.
Yeah. My editing's honestly taken so long today. I knew you were going to do this at 3. I was thinking, what was I thinking? Saying I was getting here for 3 o'clock. It was the thumbnail, and because I do the rankings at the end of my videos, and that section takes me so long to edit together because I've got to grade them, I've got to score them, I've got to put the text on screen, so it's a pain. But yeah, the video will be out in 10 minutes time, so it'll probably only get about 10 views now. I've worked all afternoon on it, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of the viewers on here will go over and give you a subscribe as well, John, because as I see, you've got a cracking channel there. I'm just going to bring up National League North table now. So here's the National League North table. As you can see, South Shields are top of the tree. Haven't lost yet this season. Won 8, drew 2. And only conceded 4 goals. So very good defensively. Spennymoor Town are up there as well, 6th place. They were looking at, I thought they played well first half in that FA Trophy. I sat with the Spennymoor fans, but second half it was just total domination from Aldershot.
Yeah, they're always up there, aren't they, in the National League North, Spennymoor?
Yeah, last season they just finished outside the playoffs, so this time they'll probably want to be in the playoffs. Kings Lynn, they've got a few problems at the moment, so they're down in 13th place.
Oh, they're below us even.
Yeah, below Hereford. There you go.
To be fair,
yeah,
to say that we're 12th after the start that we've had is unreal, because we haven't found any consistency. We haven't looked that good. So that's not a bad league position, really, considering the start that we've had.
Yeah, definitely. Bedford Town, a club that I went to see last season when they won promotion with that 2-0 win over Stourbridge. They're not doing too bad. Yes, they're above the drop zone on goal difference. I think Bedford Town could have enough to stay in this league, but it is a tough league after all.
Yeah, I don't think Bedford will be anywhere near that bottom 4 come the end of the season, to be honest. I think they're too good to go straight back down. I think Oxford City are too good to be where they are as well. I think it's a matter of time before they pull themselves out. And when you see how good Telford have been in the FA Cup, like, their league position doesn't really reflect where they're going to finish either.
No, they came up from the same league as Bedford Town last season via the playoffs, but you've got Peterborough Sports there, who are second bottom, obviously now managed by Phil Brown, who got shown the door from Kidderminster after that massive implosion. I mean, Kidderminster should have won that league last season and got promoted. And I think that damage and defeat from Radcliffe at the time had just totally and utterly, knocked the stuffing out of them. Oh, no, it wasn't. Sorry, it was Southport who beat them on the last game of the season, 2-0, who were bottom of the league. And, and he just totally imploded in the playoffs and ended up losing his job. But as I say, Peterborough Sports, they've got Phil Brown there now. Yes, he's won a game there, but I think Peterborough Sports could be in trouble this season along with Southport. it's a really tight knit group there at the bottom end of the table, especially from like 17th down over. Even Chester, they're right down there. That's unbelievable how far down they are. They won the playoff final last season against Scunthorpe, so it just shows you how this league has changed this season.
It's really, really tough, that league. And to be honest, I thought South Shields were going to be good because I think last season was a one-off where did they finish in the bottom half?
Yes.
But that's a one-off because South Shields are always good in that league, and I knew they'd be good, but I didn't anticipate them being this good. And yeah, unbeaten still. But you need to have a quick mention of Scarborough Athletic because they don't even have their own home at the moment. So everyone thought they were gonna struggle, and they're in second place.
Yeah, even Ratcliffe's up there as well, and they were at the bottom end of the table last season. So yeah, it's a totally different table this season. I mean, you had Kings Lynn Town who finished 7th last season, lost the eliminator to Chorley. But again, they're down there and they're struggling. And obviously their manager was shown the door a few weeks ago, and there's some sort of rumours going around about the manager and things like that. So after you're shown the door, apparently you're spoken to by police and everything. But, that's the rumours going around in the local newspapers. But yeah, so that's one to keep an eye on. But I'm not sure if they've appointed a new manager as yet, or I've not seen anything from Kings Lynn Town that they've appointed a new manager. So maybe they've still got the caretaker manager.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, really. Yeah, I thought Kings Lynn were going to be, I don't know, I still think Kings Lynn will be right up there at the end of the season. And I mean, look at Merthyr and Worksop as well. They're both doing a lot better than I thought they would. I thought Bedford were easily going to be the best of the promoted sides.
Yeah, definitely. Question from Jay. He says, are you a full-on Hereford fan, or do you support a Premier League team or someone from the top 4 leagues as well?
That's a very good question. I am a full-on Hereford fan, but I can't really say I support them because my attachment to this team started about a year ago. When I did the FA Cup run, I got Exeter City at St. James Park, and the way that club treated me, the way that fan base kind of adopted me. So if I have to pick a football league team, it has to be Exeter City. I mean, one of my mates took me to Port Vale when Hereford United went bankrupt, so I've got an attachment to Port Vale as well. So yeah, Exeter and Port Vale are probably my football league teams. In terms of the Premier League, I'm not massively bothered, to be honest. It's I think it's lost its magic, really. The days when Tim Flowers was playing seemed like a long time ago, and it's all about money these days.
Yeah. Yeah, it certainly is now. And I mean, PSR and everything like that. And it just, it's just too much red tape now, isn't it, in the Premier League?
It is. Yeah, it is.
Let's have a look at the National League South. This is an interesting table. Obviously, Western-super-Mare beat Needham Market yesterday in the FA Cup to progress to the first round proper. They're second in that league. Torquay are third. Maidenhead are up there as well. Dorking Wanderers are out the playoffs at the moment. Hornchurch, top of that league. If we look at the bottom of the league, I mean, look, relegation zone. You've got Eastbourne Borough, who were in the playoffs last season. They were terrific last season. They've really gone down. Dagenham and Redbridge, another one that's come down from National League. Are they on course for a double relegation? They've got Qatari owners, and they've signed Andy Carroll on a 3-year deal at age 36, which still boggles the mind. Enfield Town just outside the playoffs. Outside the relegation zone, rather. Worthing are down there as well. They were up at the top of the table for a long time last season. I mean, could Dagenham and Redbridge be on for double relegation, or do you think they'll get out of it?
I mean, that's unheard of, their league position. I think they'll get out of it simply because they've got the financial backing too. So I don't know if the transfer window still applies to teams in the National League North and South. I imagine it does because most of the players will be on contract. But I think as soon as they're able to bring players in, I imagine Dagenham will just throw a load of money at it. And what a disaster that would be for them if the new owners get them relegated, especially after relegation last season as well. But I think the team, and I made a prediction at the start of the season that the team to watch out for in this league would be Hornchurch. And I had a few comments basically disagreeing. And what are we seeing at the top of the table? Again, they're another club that they're a bit of a feeder club to teams like West Ham. So they've always got a lot of top talent coming in and good young players coming in. So yeah, I thought they'd be good again, like South Shields in the north. I didn't think they'd be quite this good.
Yeah, I mean, Hornchurch haven't lost a game either this season.
Still unbeaten, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, so they're 3 points clear. Western Supermare have got a game in hand. But yeah, so again, National League South is going to be a very interesting league to watch again this season.
It will. I think, and this is why we love non-league football, because you get leagues like this and you get scenarios like this. Like, who would have predicted that Dagenham would finish anywhere below second in this league? Everyone was saying it'll be Dagenham, Torquay, myself included, for the title race. And then Torquay are in it, as you can see, but Dagenham miles behind. Yeah. I still don't think they'll go down, though. I still don't think they'll go down.
No, well, they shouldn't do, but you just never know, do you?
No.
And if we go to the National League, top of the tree, step one, Rochdale, top of there, 1 point ahead of Forest Green Rovers, and Rochdale's got 2 games in hand as well. Scunthorpe are right up there as well, as are Boreham Wood, Halifax, and York City. Expected York City to be up there again this season. And then you've got Hartlepool, who are 12th.
Yeah, it's not massively surprising, I don't think, the top of the National League, with the exception of Scunthorpe and Boreham Wood. I did, again, think that those two would be the best of the promoted sides. But again, it's a case of, you think the best of the promoted sides finishes about 9th. You don't think they're in, like, where Scunthorpe were. I think they were unbeaten until the other day as well. I mean, but Scunthorpe are a massive club that probably shouldn't even be playing in non-league football. And Boreham Wood, I mean, they're quite a strong side anyway. So I wouldn't be surprised if they finish just inside the playoffs this season. Exeter City will have you bending spoons like when Uri Geller was there. Yes. They don't like being reminded of the Uri Geller and Michael Jackson days. I was talking to the ex-chairman now, and he said that kind of fiasco kind of made them a bit of a laughing stock at the time rather than giving them good publicity. So it's almost like remembered as like a dark time, because apparently Michael Jackson went there not really knowing anything about what he was letting himself in for. It was kind of like a publicity stunt. So that was bizarre.
Jay says Salisbury being rock bottom. Shocking for a huge supermarket chain.
Yeah.
James, hi James, hope you're well.
Hi James.
An afternoon all, he says. But yeah, I mean, looking at the National League table, obviously Carlisle, you expect them to be up there.
Yeah.
That was a strange one when they got relegated. Brackley are in 16th, they're not doing too bad. Boston in 15th, and then you got Gateshead in 14th. Braintree were top that league for a little bit, now they're in the bottom 4. Truro are down there, as are Morecambe. Morecambe's a funny one. I know they're going through transition, new owners and the manager and everything, and having to get a new team. It's going to be a struggle for them this season. Can they get out of it? Hopefully they can. If not, they'll just have to drop down to National League North. Truro City, I think maybe National League was maybe a step too far. Maybe they overachieved in the National League South last season, winning promotion. But look, I'm sure the fans will enjoy the ride this season in there. But I don't think there'll be too many teams will be disappointed if they do go down, because at least they know they haven't got to go to the other end of Cornwall to go and watch a game of football.
Yeah, their travel is unreal. I think I saw one of the other teams posted that they had like a 250-mile round trip, and Truro City responded and said that's not even as far as our closest game. And it just, I think until I started going to watch Exeter last season, you don't really realise how far away those Devon and Cornwall clubs are. I mean, Devon's far enough, but Truro, I mean, all of their away days are like, it's almost like a whole weekender, isn't it? It's not just an away day, it's an away weekend.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's just it's unreal where they are, isn't it? And I mean, as I say, if you're traveling from Gateshead to Cornwall, you're talking that's a good 8 hours drive, and that's
I
probably
think that's
where.
the record as well, isn't it? I think it's the record trip for a league game in the UK as well.
Yeah,
Either
yeah,
Gateshead or who's the other one that's up there? Carlisle. I can't remember which one's further north out of Gateshead and Carlisle. It's probably Gateshead, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. It probably is. Yeah, absolutely. And as I say, it's a heck of a trek. So it's one you wouldn't want to do, isn't it? So
Certainly not.
right, our other guest has arrived now, so let's bring him in. And it's James from non-league James Boyall.
Certainly not.
There he is. Hi, James. How are you?
All right, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Obviously, do you want to let people in the chat know what your channel is all about and where they can find you, and go and give you a subscribe as well?
Yes. So later today, you will see a video up of mine about going to watch Gainsborough yesterday in the FA Cup. But yeah, so my channel is as my title, as my name says here, it's non-league James Boyall. Just type that in on YouTube, and you should be able to find it. It's so far I've just done the FA Cup games plus Sleaford Town when I went to watch them a week ago now. So yeah, that's what I've done so far this season.
Yeah, I mean, don't know if you want to talk a little bit about Gainsborough versus Hartlepool yesterday. I think you said Gainsborough could easily have been 4-0 up in that game, and you said, obviously, at the end of the game, obviously Simon Grayson went past you, said hello to you in that. Do you want to talk a little bit about that game yesterday and about how Hartlepool set up and with it, how good or poor they actually were yesterday?
Yeah, I know you were talking about the National League, so I very quickly will say, and you were saying about travel, it is a trip yesterday. 164 Boston fans took a trip to Carlisle yesterday to watch Boston v Carlisle. In the first 18 minutes of that game, they were 3-0 down. So just shows you how a poor start Boston had. But yeah, back to the Gainsborough game. It was I don't know really. It was an interesting one. I feel like because you're on a lower league opposition team playing a higher league opposition, it felt to me like Gainsborough knew what they were doing. And
Yeah.
it felt exactly like last season because I was there. I'm a Boston United fan as well. And I was there watching Boston versus Gainsborough at Gainsborough's ground. And Gainsborough were all over Boston until the second half where Boston scored a goal early on. And we thought, okay, we're going to do all right here. And then in the last 30 seconds, Boston scored a header. And it felt exactly the same like that for Gainsborough yesterday, I've got to say, in terms of the game. It just felt, sorry, very quickly, it just felt like Gainsborough knew the game plan, knew how to play. And from loads of fans around me, they were all saying we could have been, at the end of the game, this was to each other and also maybe I was listening, they were saying that they could have literally, Gainsborough could have been 4 or 5-0 up before even Hartlepool scored the luckiest goal ever.
They love the FA Cup, though, Gainsborough. They love the FA Cup. I spoke to Russ, the manager, in pre-season, and he was saying how that they want another go at it this season because I think they lost to Harrogate last season and they would have had Leeds in the third round, which would have been a massive tie for them. So I know that they were really fired up for that tie yesterday, and hopefully they'll do well in the replay as well.
Yeah, they really were. And the goal, by the way, how it happened, if you want to know, for Hartlepool was the most, I would say, craziest thing that did happen. It was a ball went into the box. The player took a shot. It bounced off the post, back onto the striker's onto his back, and it trickled then over the line into the back of the net. So that's how Gainsborough conceded their goal yesterday. I sadly, in the video you're going to see about 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock tonight, I sadly didn't catch it. I was quite far away, so I tried to zoom in the best I could, and all I got was the crowd cheering at the end when the ball went in. But yeah, definitely Gainsborough could have easily, with some of the chances they had, been 3 or 4, maybe 5-0 up. Like, one of the chances was they were through on goal, one of the players was, and he didn't take the shots first time. He took it when the player was, like, the defender was, like, right close to him. So it meant that he scuffed it wide. So, yeah, but...
Yeah, it's frustrating that. And
It is.
you mentioned your vlog going out as well. Mine would have dropped about 8 minutes ago. So if anyone wants to check out what happened at Alf Church yesterday, that vlog will now be live.
Yes, I'm sure after the show they'll all go out and check out the vlogs. And I just looked at Carlisle. Carlisle here to Truro is 437 miles.
Ooh.
That's twice the distance between my house and Exeter City, and that takes me 4 hours.
That's 874-mile round trip.
It's just horrible, isn't it?
It is.
And from Gateshead, it's 419 miles. So it's not. It's over 7 hours without a stop. That's without a stop.
I'd need about 3 stops, I think, on that journey.
So you're going to have breaks on that journey. So you're talking a good 8 to 10 hours easily.
Yeah, with Boston United, when they went down there, because they, of course, the supporters group don't have lots and lots of money. What they did was they left at, I think it was like 6 or 7 in the morning to get there for a 3 o'clock kickoff, and then they came straight back in the next day to a kickoff. To, like, instead of staying overnight down there, they came straight back and got back into Boston at like 2 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah.
That just shows you the commitment.
Be interested to see, like, at the end of the season, I'd be interested to see how many miles Truro have covered, because there's a comment on screen now about the longest journey being Newcastle-Plymouth, and I saw some Plymouth fans when I was on the way back from one of my Exeter trips, and they'd played Bristol City, and they said, oh, it's taken us 2.5 hours to get to Bristol, and that's our nearest fixture. So that's kind of massive then. But then when you consider that Truro is even further down, I'd be really interested to see, like, how many miles are they going to cover this season? Because their fans must be so dedicated to follow that club around the country.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, and he also says it's like my local club, Welling United, travelling to Gateshead would be a bum-numbing travelling for that.
Yeah, that's maybe that.
It would.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And their closest, by the way, is for Truro is Yeovil, so that's their closest, and that's only like 2 hours away as well. So.
Yeah, Yeovil. Yeah. Yeovil's a bit of a sore point for me at the moment, because obviously Hereford lost to Hemel Hempstead in a replay a couple of weeks ago. We would have had Yeovil yesterday in the FA Cup had we won that replay, and that would have been a massive tie, because we used to have a bit of a rivalry with Yeovil. So, but I mean, Hemel. I heard we outplayed him in the first half, but we went in at halftime 1 down, and they ended up beating us 3-0, and then they beat Yeovil. So we can't really complain about that.
No.
It's just unbelievable, isn't it?
I'm going to be, I think I'm going to be live streaming my reaction to the first round draw tomorrow. I think that's what I'm going to do instead of going to Barwell. Because obviously, like I said to Tony earlier, James, my Barwell trip isn't happening now because Banbury was supposed to go there, and they've got an FA Cup replay now. So I found out.
Was it a 0-0 or
1-1, I think? So they've got to travel to St Albans. So yeah, I woke up and thought, hang on, I swear Banbury drew. Yep. So I woke up this morning realizing I'm not going to Barwell tomorrow. So yeah.
Yeah, I've just looked at Kingsland. They've still got it. At the moment, they've still got the interim manager, Joe Simpson, at the moment. So they haven't got a new one. But as I was saying it before about James Rowe from Kingsland, the manager. Obviously, he was only there for 4 months. He resigned from his position, but it wasn't related down to football reasons. And I'm going to tell you why now. His resignation was he was arrested on suspicion of sexual assault. So that is why he resigned from Kingsland Town. That's not good.
Yeah. If he didn't resign, I think the club would have pushed him, wouldn't they, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they would have, yeah. I did hear it was something to do within the club as well, so I'm not 100% sure, but that's what I've heard. It was within the club, so I'm not 100% sure, but obviously more details may come out in due course. But that's what it is at the moment. That's why he resigned all of a sudden, because it did come as a shock that he did resign. I thought, well, that's a bit strange. He's gone already, you know.
So who would they bring in?
Well, is it Danny Webb who left Yeovil? He took over Avery for a little bit last season, and then obviously went to Yeovil. But he resigned from Yeovil. But then nothing's been said. Nothing's been said about who they were looking at bringing in. There was a few names being bandied about, but nothing actually come to fruition. So again, I don't know who they're going to bring in. It's a strange one.
Yeah, I imagine they'll sort of hang around for the right person, won't they? I think Kings Lynn are a massively ambitious football club that want to be back in the national league as soon as possible. So it'll be interesting to see who they get in.
Can I give you a story about Kings Lynn when Boston played them? Just a random story to just hear. They were one of the most disorganized clubs I think I have seen, right? And the reason why I say that is because they didn't have somebody for the announcements on the tannoy. So I volunteer at a community radio station in Boston, and we went down to do our commentary. I wasn't commentating; I was in the crowd, but a guy called Martin was, and they asked him when they had like a couple of songs lined up. Could you please announce the teams on the tannoy, please? So they asked us, somebody who isn't actually part of the club, to do that. And then in the match, according to some of the Boston fans as well, I don't want to put anything bad on the club here because they're probably sorted this by now. But yeah, they did that. And then also it was just that I just couldn't believe that they didn't have anyone to do that in the actual day. And a few other things, they only had a few limited security staff and stuff. But that was when they had the problems. They've got a bit more money now, so they're a bit better now with what they can do, I would say.
Yeah, Kings Lynn was, as a Hereford supporter, Kings Lynn was the most intimidating place I've ever watched a football match. It was in the Southern League Prem Central, or it might have been the South version, but it was that level of football.
Yeah.
We won the title, but we lost twice to Kings Lynn. And at Kings Lynn, we were 2-0 up at half time. And I remember saying to my mate, I don't know how we're 2-0 up at half time and we're going to lose this game. We ended up losing 3-2, and just the atmosphere around the ground and the hostility towards us as Hereford supporters that day was quite scary, actually. Probably the most hostile place I've watched football. Tony, I've just had a message from John Sinclair, who's trying to get into the room. He's just sent me a message on WhatsApp, and I'm gonna have to drop out now as well.
Yeah, well, we're going to be wrapping up anyway soon. So, but before you go, Howie and Mag says, what yous lads next game you're going to be? So you said you were going to go to Barwell tomorrow. Was it Barwell or Banbury tomorrow? But you're not going there now.
Yeah, it was Barwell. So I'm undecided. I was going to go to Baseford United, but then one of my close friends has said he might be going to watch Carlton. I don't have the car on Tuesday. My wife has it, so I need to stay local. So for me, it's either Baseford. I think they're playing Mickleover, and I'm not sure who Carlton are playing, but it'll be one of those two for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So, John, do you want to give your channel another shout out and a plug? And hopefully these lovely people in the chat will come over and give you a subscribe as well. And
hopefully,
your vlog is now
some
out,
of them.
isn't it?
It is now out. I've just been keeping my eye on it while I've been in this chat. So my channel's called Gaming Blomp, as it is on the screen now, and I would say it's very similar to Tony's. I do the odd football league game as well, but it is mostly non-league football. So matchday vlogs, I do throw predictions in there. Usually they're way off. So if you want to come and laugh at me for those, then feel free. But I would appreciate if you check out my channel. I mean, some of them I had to explain to Tim Flowers that I'd put them in 18th in my prediction, and they're currently second in the league. So that was that. But yeah, that's what I do.
Joe says, what games are you looking forward to most this season?
Devon Derby next month, Exeter v Plymouth, and Hereford against Kidderminster on Boxing Day for me are the two I'm looking forward to the most.
Probably for me, I would say I might be going to it next weekend, which is a big one for Boston. It's the Derby versus Scunthorpe, which is all ticketed, so I might be going to that. But if not, I'll be definitely going to Scunthorpe away. So that's a big one. That
And
should be
Jay
good.
also asks, what's the best ground you've been to?
Oh, well, you might have seen my vlog last week. It was last week. It was the Stadio Diego Armando Maradona. It is the best stadium I've ever been to, and I've not seen anything like that. So Napoli is unreal. By far the best stadium I've been to.
And what about you, James?
I'm trying to think now because I haven't been to as many as you guys.
Edgar Street, if you've been there, James, obviously.
I've never actually been
Probably
there.
Boston United.
If I had to pick from because I mostly watch non-league football, I'm gonna Boston United's old ground was really good. I like that. I thought it was a good old style ground. I do also like other non-league grounds I've been to. Like I do like Scunthorpe. It's quite nice, but it's just a normal bowl. So yeah, but I do. I would have to say one of the grounds I have been to was Derby's ground. I did really like with the atmosphere, and when I went to watch them with with a friend when they played Sheffield United, I think it was, and they beat them. So
Yeah,
the new
Pride
one.
Park.
So Pride Park.
yeah,
Yeah.
Pride Park. It would have been. It was the year. It was 21. I went to that one, and then that one. I would say maybe.
And Jay's dropped you lads a sub as well.
Thank you. That is brilliant.
Thanks.
Really appreciate it.
There we go. So you've got to head off, John. Yeah.
I need to head off now. So thanks for having me, Tony. Apologies that I was almost an hour late for your stream, and I'll be a little bit better with my timekeeping on the next one. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Great to have you on, John. Cheers, mate. Thank you. See you later.
Thank you. See you later.
So that was John. So Jay's dropped you a sub as well for your channel. So I'm sure once we finish tonight, everybody will jump off and go and give you a sub as well. Do give James a subscribe because he does do a great channel, and he's got some good stuff on there as well. And I'm looking forward to his Gainsborough Trinity game because I mean, Hartlepool have been really poor this season. I mean, they're only 12th in the National League and they've sacked their manager, so there must be something there.
Yeah, you could definitely tell after the game, though, Tony, with what happened. He was, oh my goodness me. I didn't go too close because I didn't want to interfere with what they were doing. But on their post-match interview for the club, he was literally saying words like "better team." Gainsborough, like basically one of the lines he said was "Gainsborough the better team. We were lucky to get a draw." So that just tells you something. And then in the league, getting all them draws they have and only winning 2 games since the 23rd, I think it is, of October, tells you something.
Yeah, Mason's sub to both channels as well. Thank you very much for that, Mason.
Thanks for that. But yeah, no, it's definitely going to be interesting to see how they do the rest of the season and who they want to appoint as their manager to potentially get them up to the leagues, I would say, now with that one. And I thought it was a weird one because I thought he would have just done enough to keep them in the FA Cup tie at their ground in the replay. So I'm surprised that they've sacked him before the replay. I thought they would have sacked him after the replay, but then I think on the flip side, they're thinking maybe, okay, if we don't have the manager in charge, they could the players will step up their game and do well for the caretaker.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be a strange game on Tuesday. I mean, it's one of them for Gainsborough Trinity. Their manager might not need to fire his team up. He might just say, look, they've got no manager. Go out there and batter them and go and win the game. On the other hand, he might have to give them a team talk and say, look, they're going to be up for this game because they're going to be wanting to put on a show for the caretaker manager. So it's going to be an interesting one. It's weird the timing they've sacked him. I can understand why they've done it, but then you would have thought maybe wait till after Tuesday's game and then decide. So unless they've got somebody in mind who's going to come in and take over as manager. They must have somebody on the radar that's coming in, and it's going to be a weird one, isn't it?
It is, and it depends on who they're going to bring in. Because at the moment, I don't know who you would want in that job at the moment. It's going to be an interesting one, as we say. But some of the other very quickly, the other ties as we were looking at, as John, who hasn't joined us, but John Sinclair, that is, who was in the chat a minute ago.
Yeah.
Very, very good. As we talked, you probably already talked about this, but the Farnham game, which is going to be an interesting replay, that one is. But yeah, no, it's lots of good replays, and it's going to be exciting on Tuesday and Wednesday night.
Yeah, I mean, the draw for the cup tomorrow is going to be interesting as well. You know, that's going to be a very interesting watch as well to see who gets who. But yeah, we'll certainly find out who the lowest ranked team, Malden and Tiptree, will get. That'll be interesting. And
yeah, and if they get a home match, Tony, are you thinking of going?
Yes, I am. I did speak to Barry about that. I was actually trying to get Barry on this afternoon. Unfortunately, he hasn't got back to me. Maybe he's busy today, which is fair enough. But I'm sure I'll get Barry on this channel at some point. The owner of Malden and Tiptree. He's a character. He's a great guy. He really is. Really nice guy. Down to earth. And look, you can see how much he loves the club there at Malden as well. And fair play to him. We are going to wrap up this show, but it's been a great show. And so don't forget, if you have enjoyed this show, then please don't forget to smash the thumbs up. It does help the channel up the search settings. So follow Sean the Sheep there and smash those likes. Also, if you're brand new to the channel, come and hit that subscribe. Be part of this great community. I am past 25,000 now. And also hit that bell notification. That'll keep you up to date with any shows or pre-records or match vlogs as well. So don't forget to do that as well. Don't forget to follow James on Non-League James Boyall. That is his channel. If you haven't yet subscribed, nip over there and give him a subscription. The same with John. He's Gaming Blomp, so nip over there and give him a sub as well. Mason says a certain board member on the Hartlepool board has contacts with Mike Williamson. He did well for Gateshead, Mike Williamson, so he could do well for Hartlepool.
He could.
Didn't do so well at MK Dons, did he? But he could do well for Hartlepool.
It'll be interesting to see what happens.
Smash the likes, people. Great channel, great guest. Show your support. Cheers, Jay. Thank you very much indeed, my friend. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one who Hartlepool do bring in. But I still wouldn't rule it out that Gainsborough go up there and win on Tuesday. I really wouldn't rule that out.
No. Yeah,
because there'll be a lot of uncertainty, and it depends how the players play for the caretaker manager as well. They might not want to play for him, so they might just down tools. You don't know.
Yeah, it'd be interesting, as you rightly say, but also it'd be interesting on the trip as well, because I don't know if they're doing it all in one night as well. So if they are, then that's going to could be affecting as well the 2.5, 3 hour journey up there. Yeah,
absolutely, and it's a little bit of a journey on a Tuesday night, but Gainsborough will be hoping to finish the job.
They will,
and they might have a decent tie when we're fine tomorrow night. So there we go. Jay says Steve Bruce is available if Hartlepool want a manager.
He is. Yep. But I don't think he will go. I don't think, honestly, he will go that far down.
And Julie says, no, absolutely not. No, I don't think anybody wants Steve Bruce at that club.
No.
He's just been sacked by Blackpool, and he's not a great manager. I think it's time for that man just to say, look, I'll retire. He's got enough money in the bank from all the payoffs that he's had off every job that he's been sacked at. So it's probably Bacon Heads level, says Joe as well. But it could well be, yeah, absolutely. But anyway, guys, it's been an absolute blast. It's been a great show, and we will have more of these shows to come. So please do join us again, and enjoy the rest of the evening, whatever you're doing. And I will see you all later, but I'm off to Berrytown versus St Ives on Tuesday. So that'll be an interesting game in the Southern League Premier Central, and see if Berrytown can get a win and get ourselves up that table a little bit. But it will be tough against a very good St Ives team. But see you all later. Thank you for watching, and catch you all later. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.